Because if I can help one woman see what's possible in her life and who she chooses to be is more important than anything else she'll ever do, then I've done my job.
Hey, beautiful. Welcome back to PCOS Unfiltered. I'm your host, Lindsie, and today's conversation is one that goes far beyond any diagnosis, symptom, or label. Because if there's one thing I want you to hear in this episode, it's this. You are not stuck and you are not powerless, no matter what you're walking through. Today, I'm joined by Vicki McDougall, a coach, a podcast host herself, and someone who has walked through some incredibly heavy seasons of life. From cancer and chronic health challenges to grief, loss, burnout, and rebuilding her identity from the ground up. After nearly 40 years as a hairstylist, being the one who held space for everyone else, Vicki found herself at a crossroads where she had to finally turn inward and ask, who do I get to be in the middle of all this? And what she discovered is something I know so many of you need to hear. In this episode, we talk about how grief, trauma, and stress can disconnect us from our bodies, the moment you realize you actually get to choose who you become, why staying busy can keep you stuck, and what happens when you finally get quiet, and how to rebuild confidence even when life has completely knocked you down. This is one of those conversations that reminds you you're allowed to take your power back. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, disconnected, or like life has been a lot lately, this one is for you. Now, as a reminder, the content shared on PCOS Unfiltered is for informational and educational purposes only. The views and opinions expressed by the host and guests are not intended to serve as medical advice. Always consult with a qualified healthcare professional before making any changes to your diet, exercise, or treatment plan. The information shared is based on personal experience and expert interviews and is not a substitute for professional medical guidance. Now, let's get into it. Here's my conversation with Vicki McDougall. Welcome to Vicki, and welcome back to PCOS Unfiltered. So, Vicki, I am so excited for this one. Let's just start by, introducing yourself and sharing your story.
Thanks so much, Lindsie, for having me today. I really appreciate it. I'm a hairstylist by trade. I've been doing hair for almost 40 years, and I still enjoy it. I love it very much. But I was sick in 2016, so it kind of shifted my path. I can't do hair full time anymore. I had chemo, and I still suffer a little bit of the effects of the neuropathy in my hands and my feet. So, from being behind the chair for all that time, I just figured, what's my next logical transition? And I kind of played it safe a little bit. I managed a beauty supply. I helped a friend out managing her salon, and I was like, okay, this is all great. And then I lost both of my parents in 2021 within 60 days of each other. So, and it wasn't expected. It was hard. It was during COVID, and COVID was hard enough to get through regardless, and then not to be able to be there for someone when they are dying and they can't have visitors. It was very difficult. So that was the end of 2021, and then I fast forward to the beginning of 2022, and one of my really good friends and clients said to me, "You need help. You need some support." And I've always been that person that I'm the doer. I am that type A. I check the boxes. I go, go, go. And now all of a sudden it, not dealing with grief because I'm an only child and I had to take care of the entire estate. My dad still ran a business, and we were in the middle of kind of trying to figure out what to do with that. And then my mom passed. So, the family home, some properties, all of these things had to be taken care of, and I was the person that had to do it all. So I am blessed to have a great support system. And I think that, as women, we do take a lot on. I know I did.
Yeah.
And you get burnt out, but you don't realize you're burnt out, I think. And then my health it started affecting my health, and it started affecting my well-being. And, I wasn't taking care of myself, and I would stuff my emotions with food, with alcohol, just with whatever. So I didn't have to think. I didn't want to think. I didn't want to be a part of, I just had to take care of everybody. I knew I had to take care of my family, my kids, my grandkids, my husband, and then in another city, take care of that. And I can say that grief is something that it doesn't get easier. It just gets, you get to learn how to manage it a little bit differently, I think.
Yeah.
And I know we have talked, and I know you lost your mom, correct?
Correct.
And I
Yeah.
know, yeah, and it's not easy. And some
No.
days you wake up and it's just hits you. So you never know, right?
Yeah.
So I sought after a coach, and it literally shifted my whole life. It really did. She helped me see what was possible. And she also allowed me to realize who I got to be during the shit storm. And I didn't know that that was a choice. I didn't know we got to choose who we get to be. I just thought I am a stylist, I'm a mom, I'm a grandmother, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I'm all of these things. But who do I get to be during the chaos and the confusion? And I really took it on, and I really realized that I want to be confident. I want to be determined. I want to be loving and patient. I want to be all of these things, but I can't be them if I don't know who I am. So I went on a journey of self-discovery, and I'm always learning, but this last year has really taught me a lot. I didn't jump in, I didn't embody it. I kind of had that one foot out because I was afraid and I didn't trust myself. I didn't feel like I could do this. Like to sit here and know that our voices are going to be out there for people. And are they judging? Are they thinking? Are they saying what? And I've come to the realization that none of that matters. Because if I can help one woman see what's possible in her life and who she chooses to be is more important than anything else she'll ever do, then I've done my job.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why we both do what we do. That's where we, when we
That's
first
right.
talked, yes, we just clicked on that
Yes.
for sure.
And then when I decided to do this podcast, I have a podcast, and when I put the post out to kind of just see what happened, my response was overwhelming, and
Oh,
it was a beautiful thing. And I met you, and you've come on my podcast,
yeah.
and now I get to be on yours and speak to your followers and let them know that anything, whether it's PCOS, whether it's cancer, whether it's grief, whether it's whatever you're going through, you have the ability in within yourself to change your mindset and to change the way you see things so that you can heal.
Yeah. Yeah. That's if you take
Yeah,
anything, if you don't take anything else away from today,
that's
let that
right.
be it, right? I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
that's the message for sure. So now you are doing some coaching yourself as
yep,
well. You
yep.
want to talk a little
So
about that?
sure, and the natural transition from being behind the chair and listening to everyone tell me their personal stories, and I always said I'd like to write a book, and made that maybe in my future. But I survived marriages. I'm twice. I've been married and a divorce, and I survived my son going through an addiction and my ex-husband passing away. And all of the things that I survived through those years of working with people and them helping me see what was there and me helping them. The natural transition then was to become a coach and to help people one on one more so than I can even touch from behind the chair. Right. So if I can do this through podcasting and I can do this through Zoom, and that is one good thing that came out of COVID, is that we got to realize that we can still connect and we can still feel each other's energy, even though you're in Florida and I'm in Ontario, Canada,
Yeah.
right? Like we can
Yeah.
still connect. And that was just a beautiful thing. So I have a one-on-one coaching business. I also do group coaching. And I also just, with my podcast, I think that that is part of the coaching as well. I think that hearing where people are and what's possible and knowing that someone came through that storm and they're here today to talk about it, that itself is helping people and it's coaching too. So it's just, it lights me up and makes me happy.
Yeah.
It makes me happy to feel that I'm helping people.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I mean, again, like that's where, the podcast same thing for me. Like mine's even evolved, to just, sure, we can talk more specifically about PCOS, and I do on some episodes, but I think that there's just so many stories like yours that, and messages that I can say it all day long too, but but I think
Yeah,
people need to hear that message from other people too, and hear about what they've been through, so they just do understand you can get through this. And
absolutely.
it might be hard along the way. It probably will be.
Hmm.
There'll be
Yeah,
some ups and
yeah,
downs,
for
right?
sure.
But you
But
can do this.
yeah, you can. And I think it's about choosing your heart because I know that stepping out of our comfort zone is a huge thing. I know that. When I was in the summertime, I had a really low point and I was really grieving and not understanding, like, how do I do, like, what do I do? How do I do this without them? Right. And then it was like, feel those feelings, feel them. That's the hard part, is allowing yourself the time and the space to feel what you're feeling, acknowledge it, and not stuff it, not push it away, and then walk through and know that
Mhm.
this is happening for you. It's not happening to you. You get to
Mhm.
get through this. You really
Yeah.
do. And
Yeah.
there is hope on the other side because there's how many women that we talk to every day that have gotten through it,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
that is a testament to knowing that it's possible.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and there is a tie to physical conditions that can, be tied to things, traumas and just things that have happened in the past that we suppress and we just don't deal with. And then those can later manifest as something like PCOS, cancers. I mean, all kinds of different things. Yeah.
It's so
So,
true.
hmm,
It's so
yeah.
true. I know that my cancer was as far progressed as it was because I didn't listen to my body. I didn't I was a stylist. I worked 12-hour days. I was always go, go, go. And I didn't have time for lunch. And it was grab and eat and go and text somebody and hold. Like we had talked about this, like you don't go
Yeah.
to the bathroom for 12 hours. Your body knows
Hmm.
that because you don't have time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what? Really? You don't have time to take care of yourself? Because if you don't take that time, it's what, 30 seconds to run to the bathroom.
I
You know what I
know.
mean? Maybe it's a minute, but it's not long. And that, to keep your health and to put yourself first, like if you're
Yeah.
not allowing yourself that time, things happen and your body tells you, and you're not listening because you're not paying attention
Hmm.
because we get so busy in our lives. Like, yeah, we don't hear our bodies. We don't hear those signs. And then sometimes, God forbid, it's too late.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was for me. I've shared that before. I didn't listen,
Yes.
and then of course the more I just learn about myself and everything after I was diagnosed, like there were signs for so long that I did not listen to. And even I think even as healthcare workers, we're probably the worst, for that reason,
Yeah.
because we're just in that caretaking mindset all the time, for one. But then I think we also kind of think, well, nothing's going to happen to me. That stuff's not going to happen to me. And so you just ignore it all and brush it off, and
Yeah.
until your body is like grabbing
Yeah.
you and saying,
Exact. And shaking you.
listen, yes,
Yes.
screaming at you.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So your podcast is called The Art of Being Unstoppable.
Yes, it is.
So
I just
what does
love it.
that, yeah. So, I mean, we've talked a little bit already, but how would you really define that? Like, what's the podcast about, and what kind of made you settle on that?
I so I've been doing this podcast now for about a year and a half, and I worked with my coach and another girl worked with us. There was three of us, and I wanted to create a podcast, and I had all of these ideas and what I wanted it to be, and I had no idea how to do it. I had no clue. Okay, so I just said, okay, let's do it. So we met and we would record a couple, and we had one girl that lived in upstate New York, and then my coach and I, but she was busy, I was busy, our lives were busy.
Mhm.
And we would record and we always put them out. We have like, I think we had like 50 episodes that we did put out, which I think is huge, right? Because
Yeah.
most people don't even get past the dozen.
Yeah.
And but it wasn't all what it could be, and I knew that. And it last year, my girlfriend and I, she had said, I know you want to take this on full time, and I don't have the capacity. I'm building. Her career shifted a little bit, not just from coaching, but she's into storytelling too, and she's a phenomenal coach and storyteller, and she's helping business owners really discover what they are capable of, right?
Mhm.
So I knew that she couldn't do this full time anymore either. So I decided that, right, then I'm doing it. So I began doing it. And then I came back from visiting with my son in Florida. And I was here by myself in the house. My husband was away. And I was like, I heard that voice say, you are all in. You are all in. Trust yourself. You can do this. Your message is powerful. You want to help women. You get to do this. You are doing it now on this small scale. You can do it on a larger scale. And I put one post out into the entrepreneur group on Facebook. And like I said earlier, I had a great response. So it started out as, we talked about everything, right? And all the bullshit in between is what we really did. And now it's talking about women and how we can change the world. We are living in a world of confusion and chaos all the time, and everything's at our fingertips all the time, and it's a go, 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 go society. And if we don't learn to stop and smell the roses and actually listen to ourselves, we are going to do more damage than good. So if this can create a platform for women to come on, tell their story, not only does that help build their business and right and but it helps their mission grow. It helps their vision grow. And I think that we are not a competition. We are women empowering each other. And I want you to succeed. It isn't about the finish line, it's about the journey and it's about how many people we can bring up with us. And that's what I want to do. So I want to help women and I want it to be on a global scale. I don't want it to just, and I'm not saying that my community isn't important because it is to me, but I now realize what's possible. And if I can get it out there to more women, then we can help and support more women.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. I mean, I've had guests, on my podcast that are very similar to what I do,
Yeah,
but everybody's different, We all have different stories, and so people might relate to others, more than they might relate to me, and that's fine because I would want
as
somebody
long
working with somebody that they
that's
feel comfortable with, that they can
exactly.
jive with. So, yeah,
And if
yeah,
you're not aligned with that person, you're not serving them the way that you could be serving someone you're aligned with either.
hmm
And I always say, like, if it's not me, that's okay. I'm okay with that.
yeah,
I don't need to, it's not about, and I don't do it for the recognition, the money. I don't do it for any other reason than I love it. I want to do this. I know that it's powerful and I know that we can make change. So
hmm
if it isn't me, it's okay. Let me know what you're looking for. And you know what? I will find you someone,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? And you will find them someone. And
hmm
because we want to help, it doesn't have to be with us. Like, it's not a competition. It's a
Exactly.
collaboration. Yeah, for
Exactly.
sure.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Again, I mean, I've done a couple collaboration events, but even just the podcast, that's what this is about, supporting each other.
Yes.
And I think the more we support each other and hold each other up and build that community, we can spread that message, you
Yeah.
know, wider and, and
That's
farther,
right.
right?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
and I have this vision of us all getting together somewhere and meeting and really empowering each other. And this isn't small. This is trusting ourselves to create something better and to be
Yeah.
the best version of ourselves because we can. We have
Yeah.
the capabilities. So
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah. And I mean, I think just, obviously like things have changed, so much
Yes.
from back in the day, right? When, women
Yes.
didn't have this capability and they were thought of as just more of, the mom and you know, the
Yeah.
caretaker of the house and all that stuff. And maybe, for somebody that's doing that today, that's still great. Like I think we've learned that's still an amazing job right there. But we
Oh,
also have the ability to do that and all these other things. And yeah, and spreading that message, I think is
yeah.
super
Like I've
important as
talked
well.
to, it is. It doesn't matter what you do if you're choosing, but as long as it's making you light up, it's making
Mhm.
you happy, and you realize that this is your path and you know how it's making you feel. Because if we do, like, I always loved doing hair, even though I was exhausted at the end of the day, and I wasn't home when my kids were
Yeah,
small enough, I know that. But they don't ever say, Mom, you weren't there, because I was still there.
exactly.
And my mom was a stay-at-home mom. And I remember after my dad died, my dad taught me business. My dad was an entrepreneur and he taught me business. And we were driving, and I said to my mom, because my mom was sad, my mom never felt like she was worthy because she didn't have an education, she didn't work, she didn't feel that. And it made me so sad. And now it makes me even more sad because I see what I couldn't see before, right?
Yeah,
And I said to her as we were driving, I said, Mom, I said, you don't see yourself the way I see you and the way your grandchildren and great grandchildren see you. You are the anchor of this family. You are Christmas to us. You create those special moments and those memories that I have had every year of my life that you've been with me. You created that. No one else. And that in itself is something that you should be so proud of. And if I wouldn't have known how to be a good mom and a good cook and a good wife and a good, if you weren't my mom, right? Like
yeah,
you
yeah,
showed me those things, even through the hard times and even through your insecurities and stuff. But I've learned so much. So don't ever sell yourself short in what you're giving to the world. That's the key is there could be a gap between you and I that we like our religious, political, whatever beliefs is everyone has their own beliefs and that's okay. But that gap can be filled and it can be filled with love and understanding. We don't have to agree on everything. It's not about being right and wrong. It's about coming together and showing the world that it is possible despite any other thing. We get to come together and
yeah,
build each other up and show people what's possible.
yeah, yeah. Do you have any maybe either guests that you've had on your show or stories of clients that you've worked with that kind of really stand out? And yeah.
Yes. Yes, I do. I have you know, every single woman that I have met and connected with has been amazing. So I don't want to sell anyone short
Yeah.
because of the connection, whether they were very intuitive, whether they were, I have one girl who's a lawyer, like a very high litigation lawyer in New York, and now she's coaching because of her nervous system and because of what it was
Oh,
costing her health.
wow.
I have
Yeah.
another woman who is a coach on a grand scale, and she's intuitive. And the moment we connected, that was this alignment and she looked at me and she said, Can I say one thing to you? And I said, Yes, you can. Her name is Susanna. She's from Australia and she's just a beautiful soul. She said, Stop saying you're going to try. You're doing it.
Hmm.
And if we can believe that in ourselves, then we can take that. And that's what made me take that step and be sitting here every day with. I have 10 calls in a calendar in a day, and I'm like so excited from the first one to the 10th one because I'm meeting these beautiful souls. And that's what, so I, and I just feel so blessed to be able to, help and support and coach women
Hmm.
that need it or that didn't really know that they did, but then they uncover something and they go, oh my goodness, that's what's been holding me back. Right?
Yes. I mean, I love that, reframing, the mindset. because I've even, I catch myself. I definitely have kind of made that switch along the way, but I still, falter once in a while. But I think it even goes back to what you were kind of saying about your mom too, about being worthy enough. And it goes back to just I am enough. I actually start off my program because my coach initially did this with me, and now I do it with my clients. And they have to write it on their mirror. They could print it off and tape it on their mirror, something. So it's staring at them every single
Yes.
day, and
Yes.
not I'm trying to be better. It's I am better. I am enough. And a lot of those issues, the traumas and a lot of things, stem from enoughness, right? I'm
Yep.
sure you see that, with your
All the
clients and
time.
everything as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And so kind of reframing to say, you know, I am
Yes.
worthy. I am bold. I am confident, whatever it is.
Yes. Yes. That's
You're,
right.
yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And we can all
Yeah.
be different and we can all be the same. Doesn't matter. We can have the same goals. We can have the same wishes. We can have the same, and we can have completely different lifestyles, but we are enough
Yeah. Yeah.
and we're worthy of that recognition, that love, that support. We are.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I see that I feel it. Like I do. I feel it. And that I even said that to my husband today because his mindset is completely different and I'm working on it, but he's got to want it though, right? Like
Yeah.
he has to. And that's what I said to him. He said, "You're that lady. I heard you talking, and she used to be a litigator, and now she's a coach. How's she making money? What's she?" And I'm like, "See, but that's his mindset, right?
Yeah.
Because he looks at the old school way of being, like in that way of doing, and it's like, but that's not the way the world has to be." I
Yeah.
said, look at your girls, like look at our family, look at the transitions that we've all been making, and even him, he's been
Mhm.
making, and I said they may be these little steps, but every step is something to something bigger and something
Yeah.
greater.
Yeah. I mean, that's the same thing, with my clients. When I work with my clients, it's always just a little something each day. I mean, I don't know if you've read Atomic Habits, but, he talks about 1% better each day.
Yeah,
Instead, I think we get in this mindset of like this big goal and like we're going to hit it tomorrow
yeah,
when we know
yeah,
that's not possible. And you have to focus on the small things and the small wins, the small goals along the way, and all the tiny little wins. So I talk about that a lot with my clients too. I've talked about it on the podcast, with other people. And yes, I think for us too, it's kind of it's a long game,
it
Yes,
is.
I do believe I'm making a difference in at least one woman's life, when they
Yeah,
hear an
you
episode.
are.
But I know eventually I'm gonna get on a bigger stage and spread that message too.
Absolutely.
But
You
it's
are.
not, yeah, but it's not gonna
It's a
happen
belief.
tomorrow. It's
No,
gonna it's gonna get there.
but it might, right? Like,
Yeah.
it might be just it because once you step into it and you really feel it and you believe it,
Hmm.
the universe, source, creator, God, whatever you
Yeah.
choose to believe in, it hears you
Yes.
and
Yeah.
you are being it, you are going to receive it. And I
Yeah.
truly believe that. And, that's a whole conversation for another time. But I truly do. I believe that we have the power. That's our power. And
Yeah.
I believe that we have infinite possibility and we get to do and choose and be all of that we want
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah. And I think if somebody around you is telling you otherwise, then you really need to evaluate your
Yeah.
relationship, with that person. I mean, when we had the gym, I can't tell you how many women would be so excited, they'd sign up for a membership, they'd have an amazing experience, amazing class, feeling great, and then they'd want to cancel like the next day. And I don't think I ever got any of them to admit to why, but deep down I think I knew it was because they got home and maybe it was a house or maybe it was a friend that just got in their ear and said, are you really going to do that? You've done other stuff before, but you've quit. Are you sure you're
Mhm.
going to commit to 3 times a week? And you're probably not going to see, all these things, right? Like I knew that that's
Yep.
probably more than likely what was
Yeah.
happening. I think evaluating the people around you might even be part of the process, which again is not going to be easy.
It's not. but choose your
Right?
hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Choose your hard because
Yeah.
honestly, if people aren't here to support you, they don't have to. And there's that difference too with when I first started on this personal growth for myself, I of course wanted everyone, oh my goodness, your life will change. And then I realized like that's their journey and I can't force my thoughts, my views, my beliefs on anyone.
Yeah.
All I get to do is show up as powerfully as I can for myself, and who's supposed to be in my world is going to be, and who's not, that's
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
It's their journey. They get to go in whatever way that they want to because it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Because I
Hmm.
don't want to get to the destination. I want to be here for a long time showing
Yeah.
people what's possible, right? That destination
Exactly.
doesn't isn't fun for anyone, right?
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
enjoy the journey and make it the best it can be. And it doesn't have to be your close circle that's going to support you.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, sometimes it isn't.
No.
Whether it's jealousy, whether it's uncomfortable, whether it's opening something up that they don't want to deal with yet. And that's okay. That's
Hmm.
okay. But again, like
Yeah.
you said, it's not easy, but you're not doing it to be selfish, you're doing it to be selfless. And
Mm.
when we put ourselves first and people don't understand that, that's not a you problem, that's a them problem.
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for sure.
As we kind of start to wrap up, for anybody listening that does feel, just kind of stuck and feeling like they can't get past whatever it is going on in their lives, whether that is, with PCOS, what's kind of one piece of advice that you would give them to start today?
Get quiet. Get quiet. Allow yourself the time to ask yourself those questions and just get quiet because the answers are there. They usually always are, and we're afraid because if we keep going and we keep moving, we don't have to hear that. I did
Mhm.
it. I did it for a long time, many years of my life. And now that quiet time for me is hearing myself and trusting in myself. So get quiet. That's what, and if you're struggling, reach out. There's so much help out there. And again, like it doesn't have to be you, it doesn't have to be me, but if you don't know who, let us know and we'll help you find them. Like,
Yeah.
you know, but allowing yourself that quiet is key, I think. I think that that's a huge thing because we don't like quiet. No one wants to sit in their
No.
quiet because then they're sitting with their own thoughts. But once you start, it's empowering. It's a
It
beautiful
is.
thing to sit with your own thoughts and to sit and
Yeah.
be able to be quiet.
Yeah. I like it now.
Me too. Actually, I love it a little bit too much, I think.
I know.
Do
Yeah,
you want to go
but
out? No, thank you. I'll
I
just
know.
stay home in my quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me too. My husband travels for work, and so of course I miss him dearly, but when he's gone, I do. I get that quiet time. I get to be creative and I get to actually, think about what my next steps are and do all the things. And yeah, and again, it's at home usually, and I'm completely
Yeah,
happy with
that's
that.
right. That's right. I do. It's true. I'm getting so much done because in between I'm really wanting to declutter and, to get rid of the chaos so that it's a good environment as well, which
Yeah,
is something to work on.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure.
Well, last question is how can people find you and connect with you? And I'll link everything in the show notes, but I still like you to
Yeah.
put it out there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on Facebook. I'm also VM Beautiful is my website. If you're interested about being on the podcast, you can always connect with me there. And yeah, I'm on Facebook. I have a business page, but I also have a a community on Facebook, and I would love anyone to join. Any woman that's looking for empowerment and just community. It's called The Art of Being Unstoppable, and it's a community on Facebook. And I started growing it the day before I started my one post, and it's just going really, and I love it. I do, and it's nice. We're doing a little challenge in there for this week, and it's just about getting to know each other.
Awesome.
So yeah, those are some of the ways. But VM Beautiful is my website, and you can always reach me there as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This was a great
Thank you
conversation.
so much.
So
I
many
appreciate you
good
very much.
things. Yes,
Mhm.
thank you. I
Thank
appreciate you
you.
as well.
Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for listening.
Wow, such a powerful conversation. If there's one thing I hope you take away from this episode, it's this. You always have a choice in who you get to be, even in the middle of the hardest moments of your life. And I loved what Vicki shared about getting quiet, because that's something I see all the time too. We stay busy, we keep going, we push through, but it's in those quiet moments that we actually hear what our body and our life is trying to tell us. And whether you're navigating PCOS, grief, burnout, or just feeling stuck, you don't have to do it alone. If this episode resonated with you, I would love for you to share it with a friend who needs this message. Take a screenshot and tag me on social media so I can connect with you. And of course, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an episode. You can find all of Vicki's information in the show notes if you want to connect with her and learn more about her work and community. And as always, this podcast is here to remind you to go beyond the diagnosis. Start listening to your body and trust that everything you need is already within you. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you on the next episode of PCOS Unfiltered. Nourish, heal, thrive.